So she's on top of this. So not just saving and rescuing them. She participated in the last Diaspora Day that we had in Nigeria to let those in diaspora know that this is renewed hope. It is the agenda of Mr. President, and the Renewed Hope Initiative is supportive of this agenda. Yes, the diaspora is involved.
Now, one of the highlights of your initiative so far is a distribution of 10,000 professional kits to midwives. How were the beneficiaries selected? You know, it brings us back to the issue of transparency in allocation and all of that. And are you able to monitor, you know, the effective use of these kits to ensure that it achieves, you know, maximally what you set out to achieve?
All right, thank you very much. Let me quickly answer that. Like, we have a strategy, and we don't do things without involving the relevant and stakeholders. You understand? That is why in Kwara, for instance, you know, those 10,000 items were handed over to ED, MD of the National Primary Health Care Agency, which is Dr. Mui Aino, who in turn handed them over to the state executive secretary of all these institutions. So that is the strategy we have adopted. You understand? We want the relevant stakeholder that is involved directly to deal with those items. We are not there, but they are there, and we get report from them. As a matter of fact, we need to prepare a report to the donor agency that give us the money. So part of what is required of us is to provide a comprehensive report, which we are doing.
And it's not just 10,000 kits, it's actually 60,000 scrolls, and then 10,000 pairs of Crocs. How did that number come by, you know? So the federal government, under the Federal Ministry of Health, has embarked under, of course, the Renewed Hope agenda of Mr. President to take health as an important pillar of development. The Federal Ministry of Health is retraining 120 health workers so as to be more effective and efficient in their job. About 60,000 of that number have completed that training. And that's how the RHI program said, to complement this effort of the federal government and the Renewed Hope agenda, let us also come up with something to support our midwives and health workers and frontline health workers. And that was why the number came up. Since about 60,000 have completed, let's also donate this number of scrubs to be shared, 10,000 in each geopolitical zone.
What about spread across the country?
That's when you put it in the 6th geopolitical zone, it covers the whole country, doesn't it?
Let me add this too. You know, the donation came in 2 tranches. What we are currently expending is the first tranche that covers 60,000. You understand? In terms of spread, we are going to do the second. You understand? Part of the requirement to access the second funding is for you to have, you know, done, you know, certain percentage of what we are doing now. So in terms of spread, that has been captured in what we intend to do.
All right. Okay. Do you have other social, you know, welfare program that this Renew Hope initiative is, you know, embarking on?
So many.
We have quite a number of them. Every December, we reach out to the elderly support program, where they are giving money and food items to ensure they have a very good Yuletide period. We had the second edition last in December. This is something that she is very, very passionate about. Okay. So yes, we do that. We also reach out to the people with disabilities community, you know, periodically. Whenever she goes to any state, we have the business recapitalization for persons with disabilities. That's one of the interventions that the Renewed Hope Initiative gets involved in. Now, when it comes to disaster and crisis management, which we don't pray for, the Renewed Hope Initiative rises to the occasion whenever the need calls for it. I mentioned at the onset at least 2 of such that we have had to deal with. And don't forget that, I think it was in Borno that we had a flood. She was there with the wife of the vice president with relief materials, clothing, food items, and even money for them at that point. So these social interventions are periodic as the need arises. But like I said, there's some that are regular. The elderly support program, it is a regular, it's a fixture.
Orphanage.
Oh yes, the orphanages as well. You know, she believes that I can go home and cook rice and chicken for my children. He can go home and do the same. But these children in the orphanages, every Christmas, she brings them to the State House to let them have a feel of what it is to be in that kind of corridor, so that they too can aspire and hope to achieve something in life. That, okay, those that are in that office, those that are in this space, they got here through hard work, through commitment to their education and all of that. I too, I want to get there. So she does that for them. She reaches out to them also periodically, even prison outreaches, food items to the prisons. She does that as well. So it is a periodic, regular intervention.
It is periodic, regular, and maybe if you look at that's the issue of education and probably technology when we return, because the director is already calling for a break. We'll take a break now. When we return, you can add to what you want to say. Stay with us.
Environment, to be honest with you, has been extremely hard on most Nigerian women's businesses, and of course harsh for a number of reasons. There is no way you would increase or move a subsidy and increase the price of fuel that it doesn't have the counter effect. It has been very challenging for so many women. I know that a lot of them have cried in one way or the other to us to find ways of intervening. But that is not to say that it is all doom and gloom. We will still have a few percentage of women that are thriving in this economy, but we hope that we'll be able to get a larger percentage. One of the things I've seen with even our local purchases now is that people are buying more made in Nigerian options of food, of clothing, and so on and so forth than the imported. So that again is helping some of our industries thrive. Surprisingly, the telecommunications is still doing well, and the reason is very simple. A lot of people are going for online options of skills in terms of training, communications, even remote working. And so you will see that people that provide services around those areas also thrive. But I think at the end of the day, it's about partnerships, collaboration, and influencing power from especially the private sector and even the public sector. But we really need the public sector to drive a number of things, especially policies, because the public sector has the national spread above even whatever we can do in our own small way. What has happened over the years is that even the government, for example, is being pulled from different angles by all these stakeholders. We need to harness ourselves to have strategic focus areas, and we should all be moving in the same direction, not using a competitive approach, but a collaborative approach. Secondly, in collaboration, we need to move with large clusters of decision makers. Instead of, the process of reaching out to individuals is painstakingly long and it takes time. And so we need to engage these stakeholders on a larger platform. I think it's very important to identify where you can get help in your own little way. And one of the things I've realized is that when you operate in silo, it is difficult for you to lift yourself out of the situation. Identify ways you can do what you are doing in a simpler way. And if what you are doing is no more profitable, why not find out what can you do in the meantime that will help you? You need to think outside the box and then connect what you can do is also identify people and become a cluster to provide a service that ordinarily you cannot do alone.
Our major currency unit is the Naira, while the minor unit is the Kobo. They are both in notes and coins. The Naira is more than just a medium of exchange. It bears the images of our heroes. So, stop abusing the Naira. It is a criminal offense to spread the Naira at events. Stop stepping on the Naira. It's not your enemy. Do not squeeze, ruffle, or write on the Naira. Handling the Naira with dirty or oily hands can deface the Naira. Love the Naira as you love yourself. Be a real Nigerian. Do not abuse the Naira.
You're welcome back. You're still on to Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA. We're still discussing the Renew Hope initiative on the child and maternal health care. You were going to say something.
I just want to add to what he had just said in terms of the social investment aspect of what we do. Aside from all that he has mentioned, we also intervene and support the orphans, the widows, and the veterans of the armed forces. That's part of what we do on the yearly basis. We give them stuff. We support them with cash and material. That is one. In the area of technology, we collaborated with NIDA, National Information Technology Development Agency, to try and bridge the digital gap in the society. We realize that that is where the world go now, using technology to do businesses and all that. And that is why we empower so many women in terms of technology. We have built, information centers in states across geopolitical zone. We have commissioned some are yet to be commissioned. 10 digital economic centers are coming up across the state in Nigeria. We have trained close to 500 women in terms of giving them, necessary skills that are needed to survive in terms of technology. You understand? We realize that the labor market is very volatile, highly competitive. You need extra skill to survive in such an environment, and that is why through Renew Hope we are trying to provide such skill to young women to also survive. These are some of the things we are doing in terms of technology.
All right, thank you, Dr. Alawiye King. Now, Busola,